What you gonna do when it's hot outside? Ooh, I know what. Listen to Vag. What you gonna do when the trains are down? Ooh, I know what. Listen to Vag.
Hi, listener. I'm hoping for at least one listener.
You know who you are. Welcome to Vag. I'm Sarah.
I'm Adrienne. And we should give a shout out to the guy that did a little intro for us.
We'd like to thank our great friend Douglas Whittick for creating our own theme song.
Thank you. I've never met you, but if you're a great friend of Sarah's, you're a great friend of mine.
And I hope you can get behind whatever we're going to say on today's podcast.
Yes.
Douglas might not share the same views, but
we should just probably say that.
Yeah.
He may not share the same views.
So don't get mad at him if we say something really horrible.
Yeah, just put it directly towards us.
Yeah, just towards the ladies.
Just towards the ladies. Where all your hatred belongs.
We made it easy for you. Right. We don't want you to hate a guy.
Don't hate a guy.
Yeah.
Just do it where it's where everyone thinks it belongs, at a woman.
Exactly. We can take it. We've spent centuries with hatred.
Me, literally.
Or just we're really old industry standards. But this is probably our 180th logged hour of podcasting. But
we and Sarah
we keep the
we're veterans at doing podcasts and then losing them. So we've actually done about 8 so far.
Yes, we've put in our 10,000 hours. Just none of you
have heard any of them.
I've heard it. So this one should be really good.
We think this is going to be the best, though.
Yeah. Watch it now. A lot of pressure. So,
we'll probably just lose
summer's over.
Summer's over, yes. Are you putting all your white clothes away?
I put all my white clothes away. No more working at Cheesecake Factory.
Do they have to wear white there?
They have to wear white pants, which I've always thought was the most unflattering
that sucks.
Outfit to wear.
What if you're really heavy? White is definitely unflattering if you're very heavy.
Yeah, I don't know anyone that really can pull off wearing. I saw this guy on Monday in the audience wear an all white outfit.
Was he gay? I feel like that's
no.
I
know, and he wasn't.
Gay men look nice in white.
Yeah, I also think black guys look nice in white.
Yes.
But I don't think he was coming from an all white party.
He wasn't coming from Puffy's house.
No. Does he still do that? I haven't been in years.
To one of his parties?
Yes. In fact, I don't even think that guy's relevant anymore.
P. Diddy?
No. I never hear about him anymore.
I don't know. I don't know what he's up to, actually.
I feel like Kanye's taken over that part.
Well, Kanye's bigger than
everybody.
P. Diddy ever was, I guess. Maybe we could get Puffy to come on here.
I remember Chris Gathard tried to get him, or I think he did it for his live show at UCB.
That's how unpopular he is now.
He did a show at UCB.
Puffy?
I think so.
What did he do?
I think Chris Gathard had a huge campaign trying to get Puffy to come do his show.
But he doesn't, I guess he had that one album that was actually pretty good.
Chris Gathard?
No, Puffy had an album. Was he singing?
With Mace.
Mace is retired.
Yeah.
He's a reverend, I think.
I thought you were going to say retarded.
He might be. I don't know him.
You know that album was 20 years ago? Almost.
Puffy's album?
That one where they're always rapping in space chambers. Do you remember that? That was the
video? For
rap videos for the longest time, or any videos in the 90s that you're just rapping, or the early 2000s in space chambers.
Remember when Missy had the, I guess she was heavier at the time. She had those big outfits that had air in them.
Would blow her up. Where she's like, I'm not fat.
Right. I'm just wearing this big parachute outfit.
Yeah. Very space age.
I think she's coming back.
I thought it was depressing that no one knew who she was. There was so much time that had gone by that there was a whole generation that didn't know who she was at Super Bowl last year or 2 years ago. I think with Katy Perry and the shark that was dancing.
The shark?
It was a very popular meme.
I don't remember that.
There was one shark that was dancing offbeat compared to everybody else.
I don't remember that, but I do remember Missy. Also don't watch the Super Bowl.
Okay. I only watch halftime shows.
Halftime shows?
Yeah. And I like the commercials.
I remember we were going to try and do that commercial last year and we got it too late.
Was it the Doritos one?
Yeah, we had a couple of ideas for it. We should do it now.
Yeah.
Because now we probably have
Get
enough
ready
time.
for it.
I forgot which idea we were going to do.
Yeah. That's like the story of
me and Sarah have a lot of good ideas that don't ever get executed.
It's just, guys, it's just too much work.
Yeah, I think the fact that we try counts.
Yes. I always wish that, like, almost getting something would count as a credit. This next person almost got a writing job.
This next person almost got a special.
Yeah.
This next person almost got a Comedy Central half hour.
This person was so close to making it.
Like, really, really close.
But they're here tonight.
And they're doing a free spot, not getting paid.
At 1 a.m.
At 1 a.m. So, me and you just both got back from vacation.
Yes.
But I actually went away to Boston for the weekend with some friends and my mom.
This last weekend?
Yeah. I just went away for vacation and, just to visit some friends for the Labor Day. And my mom came with me. And before we went away, because I knew we were going to probably have to share a bed, I was like, make sure you bring shorts. Because my mom does this thing where she likes to ventilate her pussy at night. So I said to her, I was like...
You have to let the
pussy
ventilate.
Right, you have to let it ventilate.
I don't. I just cook it.
She likes to let it ventilate, which I think is great.
Sure.
But...
I understand.
Right, it should breathe at night. But I also said to her that you have to wear something very long.
Mm-hmm.
Or bring underwear or shorts that are loose where it can still breathe.
Yes.
So we get into bed and she doesn't have shorts. She doesn't have underwear. And she has something that is not long enough for me. And it was also a double bed.
She was wearing a crop top.
She was wearing she was wearing a mini skirt.
You're like, why are you even wearing anything to bed?
Why do you have that crop top on?
No pants.
And we were also in a double bed. It wasn't even a queen.
Totally. So it's tight.
Yeah, and I was like, I think I'm not comfortable with us sleeping this close together with you having a pussy that's just that close to me.
Right. It's like having like a weird humidifier in the room.
I just think you're sleeping. It's not like she had something on down to her knees. It was probably
she could roll over.
It was mid-thigh.
Her shirt comes up. Her bush is on your knee.
I don't even know if she has a bush or not, but I'm just saying I don't need to get that close to my mother. Labor Day weekend.
That's true. I feel like all
and her
moms
what she said to me is she goes,
though.
"You came out of my vagina, so that's why I should be open to sleeping with her pussy out like that."
Yeah, I guess I get the mom's rationalization for that, but like nobody wants to be near their mom's pussy.
And technically, I came out from the inside.
Yeah.
I didn't really touch the outside of it.
No. And there was like forceps, so they make sure that you don't touch the outside of it.
Yeah, I just think that she didn't get the big deal about it. And I was like, that is a big deal. I mean, she's ever since we're kids, she's been like ventilating. And I get that. I get why it should breathe.
I know, but it's not like it's been in diapers all day.
That's true. It's not like she's running marathons.
Yeah. Or just sitting on bike seats nonstop.
Right, it's not.
But I guess I can, because every now and then you're like, I should just you do feel like sometimes you're like, I should just let
my vagina out?
Vagina breathe.
That's fine. You can do it at night. In your own bed with like either your
under
boyfriend under the pound, but like with yourself or your boyfriend.
Sure, not with your kids.
Yeah, and it's
no, I totally agree.
And I had warned her. That's what upset me the most is I had pre-warned her, knowing her pussy ritual at night.
It's inappropriate. Just think of like if your dad was like, I like to let my balls breathe at night.
Right, and his son is like, well, this is a little uncomfortable. We're sleeping in this double bed.
Yeah.
And I don't want your balls slapping me in the middle of the night.
Also, those things are more likely to like definitely slap you.
Balls?
Yeah, they're floppier.
I guess that's true.
But a mother's pussy.
Yeah, I mean, I get it.
Years.
I guess she wants to be close to me, but I don't want to be that close.
No, I understand. So then what else happened?
So then she ended up sleeping in the bed with our other friend.
Okay. Who also is a vagina breather?
I don't know, but this other friend is an older person. She brought like a negligee to sleep in.
Yeah.
And it's like, we're
ladies.
like, yeah, it's just like, why are you bringing this?
I might meet someone in my sleep.
No, but it was like, thin spaghetti straps with like.
Was it one of those like bodysuit ones that are loose
and
from Frederick?
And it has a G-string in the back.
This is what I like to just relax
in. Yeah, I was like, we're sharing a room with all women. Why are you wearing that to bed?
I don't know. You know what? I remember as a kid, my friend's mom would have lingerie, and I was like, I think there's two kinds of moms, like the lingerie wearing mom, and then the one that's just like t-shirts.
T-shirts and like yoga pants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm probably the t-shirt.
Yeah. Lingerie is not actually comfortable.
No, because there's like string.
There's string. It's silky, so stuff's always sliding around.
Yeah, like all your outfit is like pushed to one side, and then everything else is just like exposed.
And even if you're wearing like shorts or something, if it's like not necessarily lingerie but like sexier sleepwear, it's you end up with it turned around and
like it's backwards.
It's not comfortable.
No, not at all. But I don't even know. This is not even something I've researched to know if other women are like friends of ours, if they sleep in sexy sleepwear. I
can't imagine it. I usually sleep in a t-shirt and yoga pants.
Same.
Like I recently brought something that's like one notch up above sleeping like a homeless person.
Yeah.
It's like shorts and like a tank top, but it's still not lingerie.
Yeah. Well, I don't even like if you go through
and it matches.
Yes.
That's how you know it's
like a matching shirt with boxer shorts is sexy.
Yes, that's my step above wearing stuff I'd clean a car with.
Totally. I mean, it makes sense. There's no point to wear anything sexy to sleep in.
It's just not comfortable.
Also, if there's like a fire in the middle of the night,
then you have to change.
You're in the middle of the street.
That's that one night where you're going around to your neighbors like, I don't ever dress like this. This is just the one night I decided to wear this. This is their anniversary.
Yeah. I have one black cotton like slip thing that I had to wear for a work kind of situation. And I remember sleeping in it once and I just was like, this is just too much for... And that it wasn't even like super provocative.
But I bet it was like annoying to sleep in.
Yeah, because the straps are
coming out.
dig.
Yeah.
And then it also is just kind of like, what am I trying to accomplish?
I guess you can wear it for yourself to feel good about yourself. I don't know. I feel good when I sleep a lot.
Me too.
So when I wear stuff that's like sweatpants, I feel good in that.
That's all I usually want to wear anyway.
Sweatpants.
Yeah.
Me too.
I remember hanging out with my nieces and I was like, oh, this seems kind of depressing. Like the first thing they do when they get home, even if it's daylight, is they go put on their PJs.
That's what I do too.
I know, but there's a little bit, I'm like, we should wait until you're a little bit older
to be that depressed. To just give up midday.
Not at 10.
They're giving up midday.
Yeah, I was like, guys, you're done for the day.
Right, you may still go out.
You're 10.
I guess they know what they like.
There's daylight. Oh, but they definitely like just staying in and watching TV.
Where do they live? Texas?
Texas.
Yeah, I guess it's a little more laid back there, maybe.
Well, but there's also like a ton of outdoor stuff.
Kids don't play outdoors like they used to.
I can't tell if we do or not.
I think because of video games and stuff.
Well, I watched a documentary about pedophile rings last night, and they were like, yeah, in the 80s you could just play all hours of the day.
Like it was so much easier to fuck kids because they were outside.
There was not as many like people didn't know about pedophile rings and sex trafficking, But I'm like this, and probably it's just as bad as it was then as it is now.
I would think it was easier back. Well, I guess it's easier. Okay, so I think it was easier to catch kids then because they were playing outside all the time. But I guess it was easier now because of social media to catch kids online.
I think, well, here's something weird. Like, I remember going back home recently, and because of Facebook, I'm familiar with my friends' or people I went to high school. I'm familiar with their kids because they post photos of them all the time. And I saw her boys, one of my friends, or somebody I went to school with, their kids riding along the trails in the neighborhood. Mm-hmm. And I was like, how weird that I know their names and they don't know who I am.
So that's what I thought was weird too. Is there's something on Facebook where it says stop posting pictures of your kids on social media.
You should totally not do it.
Because you can figure out what schools they go to. You can figure out where they live.
You know their names.
It is so easy to abduct kids now.
Oh yeah.
Like I'm not like a child abductor, but if I was, it would be so easy.
Super easy. I could have just been like, hey,
Sam, your mom so-and-so asked me to pick you up.
Yeah.
And like a kid's gonna be like, well, you know my name, you know my mom, you know where I live.
You know what they do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know their grandparents' name because they were like part of the soccer team too.
But I see
like, this is crazy.
People post pictures of their kids and, pictures of them in their school clothes,
Yeah.
It's so easy, I think, to get kids now because of that.
Oh yeah, it would just be easy to gain their trust right away by just knowing how much information you know. But it definitely sheds some light of like, if I have kids, I'm definitely
not putting all their information all over social media.
Yeah, no name. I'm not putting names up or anything. But
also, a lot of these kids are really young. What happens 10 years from now?
True. I had a friend that started a Facebook page for her kid. Right. That was her thing before it was born.
That's awful.
I know.
That's like child abuse.
I know. I'd rather have them make, like, that's their decision later on in life. Like, you can do this when you're 18 if you want. I
told you that I found my ex-boyfriend's kid on Facebook because they have, because they have the same name.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have his own account, but he's, like, on his, I guess, grandmother's page.
Yeah.
So now I have to wait for that kid to grow up to have his own page so I can see what my ex-boyfriend looks like.
Does he show up in the photos?
He doesn't show up anywhere. And people are like, maybe he's blocked you. And I'm like, I'm not a rookie. I've looked it up from other people. I've looked from other people's accounts.
Yeah.
He's nowhere.
And no one's that smart to block, or not smart. They don't have the energy, and they don't care about.
He would never know. When we were, it was like over 20 years ago. He doesn't know who my friends are now.
Yeah,
but he's nowhere to be found. Almost to the point where it's creepy.
No, so do you think this kid's gonna turn out good looking, and that you're like, fuck, I should have stayed with his dad?
For what, to have a good looking kid?
Well, no, I'm just saying so you can get an idea of how what the dad looks like.
I'm just curious to see what the dad looks like because my friend said he ran into him and he said he looks terrible.
Are you hoping for terrible?
Yeah. Didn't you say you would hope they look good? Somebody said they hoped he would look good.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I saw one photo of an ex from years ago, almost 20 years ago, and he looked so sad and depressed that, not that I was happy, but just like, good.
Yeah, that's how I would feel.
I guess that's what's happening.
Yeah, that's how I would feel.
Yeah.
Good.
Oh, good. You haven't changed.
Good. That means you looked like that when you were with him, though.
True. Well, yeah, he wasn't a great person.
I also hope he was balding. I feel like balding is like a real crutch for a lot of guys because a lot of guys are only mediocre looking to begin with, and then once they lose that hair,
it's almost inevitable too.
Yeah, but some guys, they keep their hair.
Yeah. Joe's keeping his hair. He's decided to keep his hair.
Good for him.
No, I was talking to my brother because both of my brothers went bald early. Like, we're talking middle school. I always forget
early. You have so many siblings.
I have 10.
No, you don't.
I have 2 brothers and 1 sister.
Right, I know your sister, and I knew you had 1 brother. I always forget about that other brother.
The oldest one, I think that's, he went bald in middle school.
What?
Like, if you look at photos of him, he was already having, like, a major receding hairline. But he's talked about it recently. He's like, now looking back, I'm kind of glad, I went through my balding stage early because I always accepted the fact that I was bald, and I wasn't like losing my
Yeah, it probably
self-esteem.
never bothered him.
It was never something that I just grabbed onto, that he's just been like, now in his later years, he doesn't even worry about it.
Yeah, I always think it's weird when somebody's had like great hair and then all of a sudden they just lose it.
It would suck if we went through that.
We have enough horrible things that happen to us.
Oh, totally. Some women do have a little bit of hair loss.
Yeah, but for the most part, it's not what men go through.
No, and it's like, it evens out, so it just looks like you have thin hair, where guys balding is like,
in like the
they're
shape of
sick.
in like a shape of a U.
Yeah. Some balding is so bad.
You should just shave it.
Totally, you can't have the hair on the sides.
That's where black men really
shine.
Yeah. My ex would just shave his head and he looked great.
And like a certain sex appeal or masculine. Like I had a friend that because of the job that he worked, they wouldn't let him shave his head, so he had to have the middle-aged bald look.
What did he do?
And he wasn't even really 30 yet.
What did he do?
It was
for
so
work?
depressing. He worked for like supermarkets or like Procter and Gamble, where your job is to go to supermarkets and get your products, like certain kind of chips, to make it onto the middle shelf, so they're at eye level, so they get bought more. So then you like give like the.
How do you even get your products to the middle shelf?
You take out the guy the head guy of that grocery store to like
wheel and deal him?
Yeah, you do. You wine and dine him.
What happens then if he just says yes and then he changes it back?
That's why like there's that's a good point. We should.
I would just say everyone. I would say you're going to be in the middle shelf to everyone.
Make everything one big store, everything eye level.
Yeah, and then just keep moving it.
And then
I'll be like, well, this guy got me a car.
I don't know. That's a really good question in the grocery market world.
You bring that up next time you talk to him.
I will definitely bring that up.
Bring that up.
He's a comic, or he was a comic, but he got married, so that's a good thing. He surpassed
the comedy world.
A lady found him attractive with the balding haircut.
I think a lot of ladies don't care.
No, ultimately I don't. But I think occasionally maybe there's been a few times where a look has bothered me.
Yeah, I don't care if you look good with the bald head, but there are when people are holding on,
or like. One time I had a hard time with somebody. I couldn't get past the sneakers that they were wearing.
Oh, what kind of sneakers are they?
They were just like a big white Reebok sneaker that I thought seemed a little dated.
Yeah, that's not cool.
And I hated the fact that bothered me so much, but the way that I rationalized it was like, if I really liked this person,
it wouldn't bother you.
It wouldn't have bothered me.
One time I went out on a date with this guy, and he lived in Queens, and I guess I was driving him back to Queens, and I had my dog in the car.
Yeah.
And like when I dropped him off, he just took his dick out. And I said to him, I was like, "You are so disrespectful to take your dick out with my dog in the car." And then I just kicked him out.
I like that. That's your white sneaker moment.
That was my white sneaker moment where I was like, if you're going to just disrespect my dog right there with your dick out.
You're like, I can handle a dick.
but my 4-year-old princess in the back cannot handle a dick.
No, sir.
It wasn't even a big car. It was probably like a Honda Civic or something. So like the dog was like right by us.
What a brash move to pull your dick out.
Also, don't you feel like if you're gonna do that, you want to know the other person is like, yeah, take your dick out.
Yeah, you're kind of like leaning in for a kiss.
Yeah, you're not just like going. You're not just going for the door and be like, this is my move.
Yeah. Like, that's what we want to see at that. Like, oh, yay.
Oh, that guy was such a weirdo.
Of course. I don't think anybody's really like, oh, I'm craving to see a dick.
Especially not in a car ride where I just have dropped you off.
Was it flaccid?
I don't remember. I know he had red hair.
Ooh. Down below, too?
Well, I actually like redheads, but I don't know if it was down there, too, because it was dark.
Yeah.
Maybe it wasn't. I just kind of remember it being hairy.
Yeah.
That's another thing too. I don't want to see your hairy.
Shave it a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trim it.
How many dicks in public have you seen?
Because I don't take public transportation, I have not seen that many dicks. I think it would probably increase substantially if I took the train or the bus.
At least one a year.
I gotta say, I probably am not seeing that many dicks.
I feel like I've seen definitely more than I would in Texas.
Oh, yeah. There's probably way more people just in New York City.
I had one incident in my neighborhood. It was daylight, broad daylight. This guy was walking towards me with his dick out. And I've had this happen before in this moment of like when you see a dick and out and about when you're not expecting it. It almost takes my mind like a few seconds more to register that I'm seeing a dick. And then when you do, you're like, oh my God. That's the part. It's not because I'm like, oh my God, I'm seeing a dick. You're just like, oh my God, how's it weird that I'm just processing now that this is a dick?
Was the guy jerking off?
I guess you could say
mental
he was
illness.
mental illness and crazy. And he definitely was like, I don't know if he was getting off to it, but I remember being like, ugh, and then walked back to my bodega and they're like, are you all right? And these are bodegas that have been, bodega people that I've been seeing for years.
Yeah.
So they knew me. And I was like, yeah, there's just some guy outside showing his dick. And then the guy walked by and then they're like, oh, that's
We know so-and-so. He always takes his dick out.
Yeah, he's good. He's fine. So I was like, all right. So then I just walked.
Do you ever wonder how many people's hands you touch that have just touched their dick?
Yeah, probably a lot.
I'm sure a ton.
I bet you most guys don't wash their hands after they touch their dick.
No.
Yeah.
I'm sure they pee, do the little, jiggle, and then just put it back in. I almost never see men wash their hands.
No. I bet you
they're putting the urine...
A soap dispenser lasts way longer.
They're probably putting the urine on those peanuts in the bar.
I know guys that just flip the water open, like the faucet, so it sounds like they're doing it, washing their hands, and then don't go. And where I'm like, you might as well just wash your hands if you're going through that trouble.
Or you might as well just not do that. Are they doing it because they think they're going to be judged?
I think so.
That's
always wash my hands when I go to the bathroom, even
Yeah.
at home. And it's
Yeah,
not
me
even
too.
like I'm directly touching
Your vagina?
my vagina or my asshole.
Well, I don't think anyone's directly touching it.
Then I'm like, I bet you there's still not.
Yeah, but it's just gross. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, well, that I still do. I just do it out of like, because that's what you're just taught.
Yeah, I would think you'd do that also.
I guess you're just afraid that like shit particles are just floating everywhere in the.
I like that in some places they have, you can do less water.
Oh,
for
you're
just
safe.
pee, and then more water
For shit.
I
I never know which one it is.
I still press the
Both?
most
You
water.
hit both the buttons.
I hit the most water even for a pee.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
I like that you're like, fuck
you. I will use as
California.
much water as I want to pee.
Yes. Do you should hit both for diarrhea.
I think don't. Oh, I
It's
guess
triple the water.
is it?
1, 2.
That's
I don't know if it is, but I made that up. They had a lot of that in Europe. And I couldn't figure out which one was for the
that's right.
shit and
You just got
piss.
back from Europe.
Yes.
Let's talk about that.
It was so fascinating. Those people are savages.
What were they doing?
No, just Eastern Europe. That not very friendly. But then you can't tell if like New York's. I was having an argument with Joe. He's like, they're not friendly, and I'm like, well, a lot of service in New York isn't the friendliest either.
What were they doing? Give me an example.
A lot of like instead of being like, oh, hi, what? Yes, right here, I'll help you. They don't even make eye contact, and they're just like,
Oh, you mean in like the restaurants and stuff?
Restaurants, or if you're like trying to ask for like, is this the right ticket to go on the right train?
Oh, do you know when I went to Italy last year, they don't tip.
Oh, well, that makes sense because I know when I wait on a lot of Italians that come to New York,
They don't tip, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they just don't tip there.
It's not part of their culture. But I love that they don't do it here, which is always fascinating to me because English folks don't do it. But I'm like, it'd be the equivalent if I went over there and just drove on the side of the road that we do, and I'm like, this is how we do it.
Well, what's funny is when I went down to Turks and Caicos,
Yeah.
you do drive on the opposite side of the road.
Is it English?
They use English currency,
Okay, yeah.
but they drive on the opposite side, and when you go rent a car, they don't even tell you that. You just find out.
You learn.
You learn as you're about to hit somebody.
Did you drive?
I did drive, but it's so confusing. Also, the steering
Yes.
wheel's on the other side, so I guess that should have clued me in.
Yeah, and then it's also like where you look where traffic is. You're so accustomed to looking
Right.
at one direction for the traffic that
Everything's opposite, so when you're going...
I don't do well on that.
No, so every time you're trying to make a right or a left turn, the signal is really just opposite side, so you're just putting the windshield wipers on.
I wouldn't. I would just be hitting everything.
But there you can, like, they have a lot of roundabouts,
Yes.
but it's not like here where everyone's so aggressive. People there just let you go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, here is like...
It's aggressive here.
Oh, is it? Yeah, I haven't really driven on a roundabout in New York.
Well, I don't mean roundabouts. I mean just in general, New York City driving is aggressive.
Oh, interesting.
You've never driven in New York City?
Mm-mm. Not...
Even in a cab, though. Don't you see how aggressive everyone is?
Yeah, I just assume that's what cab drivers are because they drive all day and they hate it.
No, you have to be aggressive. Otherwise, you will just never make it anywhere.
Well, I mean, that completely makes sense because if you actually abide by the rules, like if, say like a light, you just can't make a left on an unprotected. You have to like run some of those reds at the last minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, in order to make that turn. Or just like even go before the light turns to green so you can do an unprotected left.
Yeah, I just know as soon as I got back from vacation, it was like so calm down there. And as soon as I got back, there was like...
Back into it.
It's just instant mania. Everyone's acting like a fucking animal. Like
Oh,
you're at a green light, a red light, it turns green 1 second and everyone's honking already. And you're like, I'm seeing the light change as you are seeing the light. It's not like I'm here just fucking around on my phone.
Yeah, you're paying attention. And
Yeah, it's just like so much aggression living here. I think it's bad to live in New York City your whole life.
especially it wipes out everything that you just did.
Right, so all like the peace...
There's no coming into it easily.
The peace and serenity I had being away, I instantly hated everybody.
Yeah, you're back to...
Like this guy just was honking as soon as, like, I don't know how people just don't get out of their cars and just slash people's throats all throughout New York City. Like,
Yeah.
because people have no patience.
Tons of heart. Joe and I did an experiment. He's like, while we were in the city, he's like, I'm going to time my phone every time it honks and see how long we can go without a honk. And you can't go 10 seconds without a honk.
A honk, people screaming.
Yeah.
I remember one time I was coming back from dropping someone off at the airport, and like me and this guy got into a fight. He got out of his car on the highway and came to scream at me. Like,
yeah, I was in the car with you recently, and you dealt with some guy. You just got in after paying and just nonstop like
honking.
Where you're like, what?
Nobody's honking has ever made me move faster.
It makes me want to
To
do
stop.
the complete opposite.
Yeah.
And make their life a living hell.
Makes you just want to stop in the middle of the street and do nothing.
Yeah. I'm surprised there's not more shootings on the road.
Well, I can understand why there's no, like, you shouldn't be able to have a gun in New York City. You know how many times I've gone around...
Or driving.
You know how many times I've gone around just pretend shooting everyone I would kill?
Oh, probably a lot.
Everybody. You're just like this. Boom, you're dead, you're dead, you're dead, you're dead.
Have you ever made a gun
like boom,
hand gesture
like
to
boom,
somebody
boom.
like this? Like,
boom, boom.
I would fucking... I just want you to know, if I had a gun right now,
I would kill you.
I would kill you.
I feel like I've thrown something at someone's car from my car.
Yeah.
I've done that.
I always have, like... Yeah, you want to throw, like, a rock.
I had something in my car that I threw at someone's car.
Did it feel good?
Yeah, it did.
Okay. That's always nice.
It felt, I mean, this is many years ago, but somebody just, like, up my ass on the highway.
Yeah. I just always want to, instead of doing something like that, like, I just want to majorly inconvenience them.
I guess you could go slow. Or what I like to do is if I'm going, like, pretty fast in the left lane and somebody's, like, up my ass and somebody in the right lane's going slow and they can't get around and then they finally get around, then I'll go fast where they can't pass me.
Yeah, there you go.
be like a real asshole.
You're
That's a lot of
right.
stuff I got from my dad. My dad didn't like a next door neighbor.
Okay.
And we used to have alternate street parking growing up. So if my dad was getting out of his spot and he seen this guy looking for a spot, he would just sit in his car for hours.
Ooh.
While this guy would just circle looking for spots.
Well, Facebook wasn't around then. You had just tons of time to do stuff.
I know, but you're just sitting in... What were you doing without Facebook? I guess listening to the radio?
I think, for me, I remember when somebody was like, what did we do without Facebook at work? And I was like, I think you just smoked.
You smoked or you talked.
Yeah.
I guess we had beepers for a while.
I had a beeper for a brief moment, and I hated it.
I had a beeper.
Because a boyfriend wanted me to have it. Anytime you want, if your boyfriend wants you to get
have
a
something.
beeper, you're like, ugh.
I remember I had it, and in school you weren't allowed to bring it. And then,
Yeah.
like, if a guy beeped you in school, it was like, you were so cool.
I always got annoyed because people would always abuse the 911 beep.
Right, because everything was an emergency.
Yes. You're like, what is it? And they're like, nothing. I just want to. You're like, you can't.
I just want to know if you're coming to dinner tonight.
Yeah.
And you're like, that's not an emergency.
You do feel cool when you had a beeper before they. It was only a small window of time before the cell phone came.
I used to work at one of those places where they had message beepers, where it's basically you're calling up. It was like texting before they had texting.
Yeah.
You were calling up and you would say the message, and then we'd have to type it in.
Yeah.
I've never had so many weird things people would... It was the weirdest things people would send messages that you were like, you should probably say that in person. Where people would be like,
yeah.
hey, I'm positive. You should get tested. And you're like, okay.
Call me.
I'll never get one time this girl called... I mean, and the thing about messaging now is like there's no third person judging you.
Yeah.
But like back then, I remember this girl one time called up.
Yeah, voice messaging, like at your answering machines and stuff like that.
Yeah, and this girl one time called up and she was like, I want to know if you could text, hey Stinky, I want to know if you would come over and stick me in my booty. And I was like, is that the end of the message? Such a weird thing. Are you gonna come over and stick me in my booty?
I know. I wouldn't even. Really, I don't know what to say. Like.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
And you're just taking so many of those phone calls.
That's crazy.
I kind of liked that job. I hated it then.
Oh, I bet, because it's like funny.
Yeah, and it was mostly just trashy things people were saying.
That's
It was
really
rarely
funny.
like call me back. It was mostly trashy shit
Yeah,
like I'm
stick that
pregnant.
in my booty.
Yeah, call me back. I'm fucking your brother whose dick is bigger than yours. You know, it was mostly just trashy shit like that.
I didn't even know that was a service that was around then.
That was like 96. So
Oh,
that was
wow.
definitely way before text messaging came around.
We used to do this thing I used to enjoy with voicemail or just answering machines when your friends still lived at home.
Oh, yeah.
Just being like, hey, Adam, I just got the test back and it's positive. And then you just hang up so their family
just freaks out.
And I remember we would just do it to our one friend, and he, like, eventually they just get, like, really pissed at you.
Well, I guess if they knew you're joking
It causes too much drama.
in the family.
Yeah. Some of that shit is really funny, but when you're the one that's, like, my friend would order porn at my parents' house, and I wouldn't know about it, and then they were like, Sarah, what is all this porn? And it would be, like, a month later, it would be like, Stephanie!
I guess, too, she was just ordering it. She wasn't even watching it.
No, she was just ordering it, and then I'd call her, and then she would just be laughing so hard. And you're like, at the time, you're, like, annoyed, but now... Like,
now it's funny.
yeah, just, like, an hour later, you'd be like, that's
really funny.
That's really funny. Thank you. The damage wasn't that bad.
No. How much do you think porn was back then?
I don't think it was that much. Maybe like $10 at the most.
It is weird. I forget who said it, but somebody made a good point. They're like, who's paying for porn anymore? I guess that's how people, like, aren't making that much money doing porn anymore.
No, I guess they're getting it through ad space.
Right. I guess that's how they get paid. But do you ever see that documentary with those girls who are like...
Facials? Which
no, not that. Remember the documentary about
is a really bad one.
the girls that are... They're like porn stars, but they only have like a 3-month window where they think
yeah,
where they
that's
think
what it's called. Like the facials one where they like choke you and then come on your face, where it's really violent.
Or like the girls crying.
Yeah, and then they have, or the sex is really aggressive that they have all these like weird shit happen to their vaginas.
Right, and then the girls, after like 3 months, there's just new girls moving in and they want them. It's kind of like the comedy scene where like the new people, the new comics everybody wants, and after a couple of years, everyone's like, yeah, we're done with you.
They're back in their small town working at McDonald's again.
It didn't work out.
And then most of them, they were like, we didn't even make that much money because a lot of it just went to like bleaching your asshole and looking really great for that short period of time.
Going tanning, getting your hair done.
I know when you think about all that work that goes into it, and then the expenses and they're not really getting paid a huge amount. That you're like, you could just wait tables and make decent money. Yeah,
didn't that girl say? I think the one that was like getting choked and then had to eat dog food or something. Didn't she get like $300?
Yeah,
it doesn't seem like enough for that much.
No, not even close. Like, you probably have to drive an hour away.
Like I've done.
It is like comedy.
Yeah, I've done some shitty gigs where I'm on stage and I'm not getting that much money. I'm like, this isn't even worth it.
And you're like, I'd rather eat dog food.
And I'm not even eating dog food or like getting choked or whatever these girls are doing. That sucks.
No, I thought about that it sounds like I thought about doing porn, but I'm just, when you're thinking about like how hard it is now to be the top person in porn.
Oh yeah.
Like, even if you did something crazy like eat dog shit while getting anal, like that's who cares? Like,
what makes you the top person in porn now?
I don't know. Gangbangs aren't even a big deal.
You're right. So what is the biggest thing you can do?
You can't even tell. No one probably knows that the two girls that were in two girls, cups? 1 cup. I like 2 cups.
2 cups, 1 girl? She's like, I gotta eat double the amount of shit?
Why wasn't that a sequel?
Oh, now there's more of it.
I'm just gonna eat shit. Those girls, like, where are those girls?
I don't know. That would be interesting.
Where's that VH1? Where are they now?
Entertainment Tonight, whatever those things are. Oh, what were we gonna talk? Oh, we were gonna talk about the Lena.
Oh, the Lena Dunham, Amy Schumer gate
fiasco
that was worth taking over News Source.
The one where
that was, to me, that was so ridiculous because I understood their humor and I thought it was funny. I think the only thing maybe next time, general note, is maybe just say athlete instead of saying a direct person, like an exact name.
Well, weren't they upset? She was upset that the one
Odell.
Yeah, that he wouldn't talk to her. Or
he was just looking at his phone.
Yeah, I mean, but this is the thing. If she was here right now, I'd probably look at my phone. I don't find her that interesting.
No, well, I understand the joke that she was doing, because I remember like when bartending, when there'd be like this like hot beefcake guy and his girlfriend with huge tits and puckered lips and like high heels that are like 6 inches, and you're like, he probably thinks I'm a boy right now.
Right, I get that too.
Yeah, the self-deprecating humor. That's all I took from it, but instead it was becoming like this, like, how dare she speak for a black man?
Well, it all of a sudden becomes a race
after
thing.
all the years of white women oppressing black men. I'm like, I don't really feel like this is the scenario that we're talking about here. She should have just said athlete, and we would have understood athletes with models.
I don't understand why she even said anything.
I don't either. I don't understand why that Lenny letter.
Well, then she's also saying that she's like grinding up on the other black guy, Michael Jordan, but the actor Michael B. Jordan.
Okay,
yeah, not
from Creed.
Yeah, how she was like before I left, I was grinding all up on him. Yeah, and then she's like sexualizing him, and then she's like, this other guy doesn't want me because I'm fat and ugly. But I'm sure Michael B. Jordan also didn't want her. So that's like the thing too, is like, I'm sure both of these black men didn't want you.
Yeah, I mean, they could get like Kim Kardashian types.
Yeah, they could get a hot woman.
She's wearing a tux.
Yeah, they can get a hot woman.
Yeah.
Why would anyone want you? I feel like even a non-famous person doesn't want her.
I'm wondering if that too was she was getting shit for the stereotype of black men liking
fat women,
fat white women.
I don't think famous black men like fat white women.
Yeah, you don't. It's not like you see all these like well-known black athletes with like
fat white women where they're like, I'm still gonna keep to this stereotype.
Yes. No, they're going for like all of the Kardashian family.
I also think it's funny too that how Amy gets dragged into all this stuff.
Totally, as if she's like the spokesperson for all women.
For anything. And then, so she wrote that tweet that got deleted that somebody like caught it.
Oh yeah, everyone screenshotted.
Everyone screenshotted about getting the catcalling being mostly from black
Hispanic
men.
and black men.
Right,
yeah.
black and Hispanic men. And she was like, well, I guess it's who's hollering at you.
Yeah, statistically.
Right.
Pa.
Well, right.
Yeah.
So I guess what's funny about that, and I guess that also, if she never apologized for any of those jokes she did, I feel like people wouldn't attack everything she says.
No, my motto is like, you don't have to explain shit to anybody.
Yeah, like just like, but that's what people did. They started attacking her jokes when she did a joke about, I think, Mexicans or whatever it was, and she like apologized for being, you know, a younger artist who was like,
yeah.
But I just feel like if you apologize for nothing, then people are just like, no, this person doesn't care and is not going to apologize. Once you start apologizing for everything, then everyone looks to you to apologize for everything you said. At the end of the day, she's still a comic.
Yeah, I don't understand why we're owed to expect to apologize. I'm like, is anyone really... Who's personally being hurt? If anything, I would say just like, don't do it anymore if that's... I'd rather just not do it anymore than apologize.
Also, what if she lives in New York City and the people that have most catcalled her happen to be black and Hispanic men?
Yeah.
What if that is what's true to her?
Yeah, that's her truth.
Yeah, maybe someone in Ohio is like, no, that's not what's true to me. And yeah, that's true. Maybe you are getting catcalled by a lot of construction men, a lot of white construction guys or something.
Oh, totally. You know what I really like? I just love how, do you know, a lot of guys... Lena Dunham she makes guys so angry or disgusted. They hate, like, it's like she's shrill or something.
Well, they don't like how comfortable she is with her gross body. That's what it is.
And I like it. I think it's funny.
I don't even think she looks gross.
No, I don't either.
Personally,
but there's something about her that men just fucking... Oh my god, they just like hate, they're like in a rage.
I think they hate that she doesn't conform to what they think is beautiful.
Yeah.
You know, that she's gonna not have a perfect body, that she's gonna...
And just using it as humor.
Yeah, and she's gonna dress a certain way that's not as becoming as she could dress, and she's not gonna wear her hair a certain way. Like, I remember watching like her show and she would just have her top off every...
Yeah, she looks like
she just...
It sounds bad, but she looks like shit in some of the scenes, but like we all look like shit,
right?
When we're just hanging out at home,
right? I guess what some people were saying is like, why does she have to have her shirt off every episode? And I guess it's because she wants to. Yeah, but it does bring awareness to other people whose bodies look like that, you know?
Yeah, I just always thought she was just doing it for humor because guys have always allowed to have been like gross, and who they really are at.
Yeah, like guys can be like gross and just always have like these hot women.
Yeah, and like it always seems like a lot of her scenes were just her wearing a t-shirt with no bra on.
I think there was one episode where she's like playing racquetball or like just totally naked with some guy she just had a one-night stand with.
Oh, I remember that one. A hot guy too.
A hot guy where you're like, I would like that confidence.
Yeah, I would never feel confident to play ping pong.
I wouldn't feel confident dressed to play ping pong.
I don't even like hanging out naked by myself.
No.
Let alone... weird. I don't like my vagina breathing either.
Well, I mean, I'm sure my mother would disagree with that. Yeah. You should just wear some shorts with no underwear and do it.
And just sit outside and let it just
maybe not sit outside and let it bake.
I still love that sketch idea that you had of like letting your tits breathe.
Tits out.
You just gotta let your tits breathe.
Sometimes you gotta let your tits breathe. Like a bra that just is open.
Yeah, and
you unzip them.
You go outside of your office, and you just like open your shirt up and outside, and just let your tits breathe.
Or you could even open them up into like a big balloon.
Yes.
So freeing. Well,
sorry, I was just letting my tits breathe.
As soon as you get home, do not take your bra off.
Yeah, it's the best feeling.
It's the first thing I do.
It's a really good feeling. Also, because like most bras are, I've moved into wearing sports bras. Like I'm slowly just wearing what lesbians wear, and I get it.
Yeah,
it's comfortable.
It is nice. You just take it right off.
Underwire digs, and then after you do one washing, it like bends
out.
weird.
It sticks out.
It jabs you in the side.
It's very uncomfortable.
And then most of the time, it doesn't really like support. Like the straps are loose and they always fall off. Then I'm like, I just wear sports bras.
Do you find them supportive?
No, after a while in New York, like with just sweating through them all, like they lose their elasticity.
But at least it looks like you're working out.
True. But it feels like you could just do that anywhere in New York if you just hang out on the 34th Street NQR station.
You could be just sweating.
Everyone looks like they're just working out.
That's true.
That's true. So, yeah. I don't really see the big deal with the Lena Dunham, Amy Schumer thing.
But Amy gets dragged into everything, I find. Like, even the Kurt stuff. And
my thing is, I bet you with her, she's just, like, anything with Amy Schumer in the title is just gets clicks, which generates ad sales.
But I'm sure also Lena gets a lot of clicks also.
Yeah. Because people love to hate her.
Yeah.
She's someone fun to love to hate. Like, I watch Girls all the time, and a lot of times I'm like, this show sucks. But then there's times where I'm like, obviously I must like it because I keep watching it.
I keep watching it too.
Yeah, I just find it fascinating. So I'm like, maybe it doesn't suck. It's just different.
Yeah, I guess it's not how I relate, I guess, my life to so much.
Yes.
You know, I don't live in Brooklyn.
They're not likable characters.
No, and that's what's weird about anything we write. People are like, those characters aren't likable. And I'm like, none of those characters are likable.
No, all four of those girls
are really unlikable.
Really unlikable and very self-centered. But then you're just like, I felt like it feels like what you are in your 20s.
I guess, anyway. But I thought, but isn't it supposed to be that somebody's likable?
Yeah, I thought, well, I guess now everything. I do get annoyed with that note of like, these characters aren't likable, and you're like,
we wrote something and everyone was like, oh, the moving home thing where people like the main character isn't likable. And I didn't think she wasn't likable.
No. I wonder if they're like, she's depressing. If that's what they're saying is unlikable.
Maybe, but I got the impression what they were saying is this person is not likable. And like, people aren't going to root for her.
Yeah. But then I'm like, Ann Coulter is not likable, but she seems to generate sales.
Well, it's also something very likable about hating someone.
Totally. It's enjoyable.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I feel like all those Real Housewives franchises do really well, because it's really fun to hate all those people on there.
And that's how they get all those spin-offs and stuff?
Yeah. It's like safe gossiping.
I guess, yeah.
You can just talk shit about these people and you're not really affecting them directly. I mean, it's not like I'm tweeting at them.
No.
What if I was?
Do you think they get back to you?
Probably some of them. I mean, everybody probably reads a lot of their tweets that they get.
I heard, like, managing those people is insane. Like, they're just, like, always fighting with each other. Like, the behind the scenes of doing those types of shows
it's got to be a nightmare.
It's crazy.
And their egos are so crazy. Because most of them are wealthy. And have come from, like, a place of no one ever saying no. And then when you have 5 of them like that trying to get, like, top billing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, it's bonkers.
But always the craziest people on those shows are like the most popular.
Totally.
The train wrecks.
Yeah, everybody likes the like, remember, like, not from that show, but Omarosa, like, everybody
Omarosa, yeah,
hated her.
I heard they're doing The Apprentice without Trump.
I guess that makes sense. Didn't he got fired from his own
He got fired from his own show.
Yeah,
I guess. I didn't know he's 70 years old.
I guess he's, because even, it seemed like back in the 80s he was 40.
Yeah, I guess. He doesn't look 70 to me.
No.
He looks old, but he doesn't look 70.
Well, I always think, like, for years with my grandmother, they were always like, this might be her last year, but she went
just
20.
She just kept living.
But she always had, like hatred in her heart that I was like, I feel like
keeps you
hatred
alive.
like fuels you.
I think that does keep you alive.
If you have like something to hate, it's passion.
I think that's something good to end on.
Yeah.
Hatred. Hatred keeps us alive.
Guys, if there's one thing
You've
in our
learned from
book of
this.
like self-help is like pick one thing to hate
And just
and it will
keep
keep
hating
you
it.
alive.
And keep hating it.
Yeah. Or and if that, find something else to hate.
There's so many things to hate.
All right. That's been our podcast.
Thanks for listening.
Hopefully we'll see you next week. We haven't deleted this.
Yeah, we're going to try and put this out right now.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Bye.